Dicebreaker Podcast. It's Friday. It's Friday, the 13th of May. Unlucky for some, lucky for me because I got a sister out of it because it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, my sister.
You're doing a free call out.
She doesn't listen to this podcast, but I just wanted to say it because I love my sister very much and I hope she's having a nice day. I'm here with two people who I also hope are having a nice day.
No. Hopefully we'll get better, guys.
It's Alex Meehan. Well, we're glad to have you here, Meehan. We're hoping that this will pick your day up a bit.
Yeah, I hope so. I need it.
And also joining us, Maddie Cullen. Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Meehan, we should note for those who are wondering, who are watching on video, you're currently dog sitting somewhere. In case people are suddenly like, "Wow, Meehan's into just like 70s rock in a big way."
Yeah, no.
Other side of the room with your 70s rock memorial that we just don't usually see.
Yeah, for those who can see sort of the corners of the posters behind me, I've not suddenly become an AC/DC fan. I am dog sitting for my friends who are in Lanzarote. So
wow,
yeah, living the high life.
Yeah,
the dog, he's a little piece of work. No, he's a mutt. He's your Commodore garden mutt. He's just like a hairy little pig. We call him Mr. Pig. And he's not more that he's like a piglet, and not that he's like as big as a pig. He's a little terrier thing, but he's currently in his bed, thank God. But fully expect at some point in the middle of this podcast for him to come up to me and start whining and growling for no discernible reason, just because he wants attention.
Yeah, that's how dogs do, you know. Yeah.
I don't know. My parents' dogs don't do that, so.
Oh, my parents' dog is like a real whiner. Like he'll come out and just go. It's like, Alf, what do you want?
Yeah, I mean,
normally fuss.
Donnie, which is the dog's name, Donnie, when he whines, he sounds like when you're like wiping water off a window. It's like a noise. Yeah. That's how I describe it.
Is his full name Donnie Barco?
I wish. Oh no. Darren Morris says all dogs can be useful work, but they're worth it. Oh no, he's a sweet boy. Yeah, he's a sweet boy. He's just annoying me a bit sometimes.
By the way, Maddie, chat says you might be a little bit quiet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm on full volume in OBS, so...
You sound all right to me, so I don't know if it's coming from that side, but...
And hopefully that will help.
Shout every answer. Just scream and see how long on an hour-and-a-half podcast you can keep that up. Well,
I'll try.
We are here on this most Friday of Fridays to discuss board games and tabletop games and all sorts of stuff, what we've been doing. Let's get stuck into it, shall we? Should we kick off with, you know what? I very rarely do this. I'm going to kick off with me this week. I'm going to pass the mic straight over to myself.
Yourself.
Yeah, just passing it across and being like, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Partly because I've got the longest list on this document, and partly because Maddie and I have played one of the same games. So I figured we could dive straight in with talking about Batman Everybody Lies, which we played yesterday on the live stream. If you missed that, go and check it out. We only played the prologue, which is meant to last half an hour and lasted us 2 hours.
Yeah,
it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
Number one, I found that like publishers never actually rightfully it's never correct. Like the amount of time they claim it takes to play the game is never accurate. It's always longer than that, even if it's a game that you're familiar with and you've played like many times before. Like Wingspan is like, oh, it's like an hour. I'm like, it's never an hour.
Wingspan is an hour for Wingspan is a very generous or very optimistic even prediction.
It's not an hour, so no. But I mean, also they don't account for the customary Dicebreaker messing about. Yeah, the goofs.
Us passing a card around doing different voices. By the way, Maddie, you're like Harley Quinn like
my
slash
God.
Catwoman voices were absolutely on point.
Did you
As
do
was
it,
Wills's
Maddie?
Richard A. Hardy, which
That
you
was
know,
wonderful.
yeah.
I did
Did you
Harley
you did the Harley
Harley
Quinn
wasn't there, but
voice?
I just did it anyway.
No, Harley was there in so many ways in every character's. It was very good fun. What did you think, Maddie? Have you played any of the detective games before? So this,
No,
for
I
folks who don't know,
haven't.
yeah, this is a spin-off from the detective series, but set in Gotham City.
Yeah, no, it was my first time playing one of them. It was really good. I definitely think I should have taken notes. I remember me and Wheels played Mortem, which is like the medieval detective one. It was like we took some notes, but I kind of just followed along quite easily because I think it was a little bit simpler in some ways. But I definitely think I would have got more out of Batman if I had taken good notes rather than being like what I meant to be putting where. Like, wait, who is the owner of the Black Rose Casino? Somebody. But it was really, really fun. I did enjoy it. I'd be interested to do a bit more of like a deeper mystery because I feel like ours obviously just had like kind of one or two answers or questions to answer. But it was very fun. I like doing voices.
Yeah, and without giving away the end of the stream, we did all right considering that, you know, we were playing on stream and we were doing voices and we were getting variously sidetracked. But yeah, it's so that prologue is said to be like a lot shorter and generally a lot easier. It's kind of like a tutorial into the others, which are, they say, will take around 2 to 3 hours. So, you know, that's probably going by the prologue.
4 or 5. Yeah.
It might take longer than that, or who knows, because you follow, so in the game you follow different leads on different cards. So it might be like, go to Arkham Asylum by visiting card number 6, or go to the hospital by visiting card number 7. And you choose which of those leads you want to pursue. And once you hit a certain point on the board, so every lead you visit kind of shifts your time along, which is like a big part of the detective series, is like managing how much time you have to chase how many leads. But once you get to a certain point, you can just like choose to finish it there. If you're like, yeah, we nailed it, we know everything that's going on, you can just, you know, cut it short, turn in your report and see how you did, which will earn you a higher score if you finish, you know, on the green versus the red or the orange. But we did run it all the way to the end of that little track. But, you know, we saw a lot. We found out a lot of like side information, which ties into like the characters have different personal quests. So I think, Maddie, yours as Catwoman was like find out how Falcone was involved. Is that right?
Yeah, that was me being like, what's he up to? What's he doing? Like, what's his kind of involvement in it? Yeah, which is really interesting to kind of have like our own goals, like push our own agendas. Although we kind of just ended up like following every single clue anyway. But in a proper investigation, I'm sure we would have like, yeah, really had to like kind of work on like our own things as well as like the main thing, which is really fun.
Yeah. And so yeah, for those of you who haven't played Detective before, don't know about it, part of the appeal of it, I guess, or part of its uniqueness, is that you use a companion app in your browser as like a database of files. So we had newspapers that would spin in and reports and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was like proper. It's weird because the storyline of the case itself was quite dark and involved things like torture and mutilation, which was kind of like quite strong. And then the kind of art style of it is, you know, not that Batman has plenty of dark things in it, but yeah, some of the like artwork and the way things would spin in on the app
was it like not Batman the animated series?
Yeah, kind of. The art style is definitely more in that realm. Like, for instance, there's no like Robert Pattinson or
what?
You know, it's not screenshots of the Batman, the film.
Oh my goodness! You mean there's no Val Kilmer?
No Val Kilmer.
Can't believe that.
No, it's not like an into the Batverse kind of crossover. You don't even play as Batman, is worth saying. So you play as like a group of investigators. So there are 2 journalists, I think, Vicky Vale and Warren Spacey the journalist, or Warren Spacey the cop? But anyway, that's right. And then the other one is Detective Bullock, right? Yeah, Harvey Bullock, and then Catwoman, of course.
Yeah.
So you know, you're not Batman, but you can go and visit Batman, and Batman in that case was just kind of slightly gruff of us and then told us to go away, like as if we were a kid walking in and Batman was just like, "I'm working, please. Give me some
Leave
space."
Daddy.
Yeah, shuts
Leave
the
Daddy
study
to
door.
his work, kids. Daddy's busy.
But it was good. I like the detective games. I've played the previous ones, not all of them. I haven't played Dune House Secrets.
No.
But I enjoyed this. You know, the writing is what it is. Like, I think you have to go in expecting that it's not going to be the most like groundbreaking storytelling in the world, but actually it does what it's there to do pretty well. You know, it's there to kind of spur you on through this mystery. So
I'm just gonna try something. I'm just gonna try and fix my audio by taking my headset out and plugging it in. So I'm just gonna cut out for a second, and so will you?
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
So
okay, we should be back. Oh, I think
all
that
back.
might be a bit better. It's looking a bit higher. Hopefully that's worked.
Is it just was it
chat,
just a
let me
cable?
know.
Is it one of those tech things that literally comes down to just like the cable being a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fixed. Excellent. Amazing work, Maddie.
The ultimate
Perfect.
fix. Just plug it in, take it out, plug
Excellent.
it in again.
But there we go. I'm glad it's
Excellent
working.
Fixing stuff on the fly. True
Yay.
video producer.
I really thought it was done this time, but I'm sorry.
But yeah, were you kind of left like interested in seeing more, Maddie, as someone that was coming to this kind of like system fresh as well?
Yeah, honestly, I was. I really haven't been enjoying like some of the detective games I've been trying out, and I really like Batman and like Gotham as a setting. Yeah, it's it's fun. I would definitely like to do like a proper thing, like properly write notes. Like I like as much as it was fun messing around yesterday, I do very much like a game where I can write stuff and notes down and like organize, and like I do enjoy that kind of thing. So I would like to see what it's like kind of like tying all the pieces, getting some post-it notes and like red twine.
Oh yeah,
putting
nice.
it all together.
Quickly, favorite Batman, favorite Bruce Wayne. Go. I'm talking about movies, film depictions.
I feel like I never really think about Batman. I'm like, oh, the villains I'm interested in. I'm like, Batman.
Okay, favorite Batman and favorite Bruce Wayne and favorite Batman villain.
Oh god, we got a split Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, because they're both very different characters.
Oh god, imagine that, where it's like it's Christian Bale Batman, but then he starts peeling off the mask and halfway through it morphs into like Adam West. Or Val Kilmer.
So I'll go first because why not? Favorite Bruce Wayne is Michael Keaton.
Yeah, he's a good Bruce Wayne. He's like slimy in a rich businessman kind of way.
And favorite Batman is actually Pat's, believe it or not. I think he just does such a good job in that costume.
I still haven't watched it.
I haven't seen the Batman yet,
he's really good as Batman. His Bruce Wayne is so, but his Batman is top notch. And then favorite Batman villain. I really like the Riddler.
He's good.
Does not
He's such a
concept.
Love him.
I just love
great aesthetic.
Yeah, I love the fact that this man has dedicated his crime life to he just wants to like he just wants to be smarter than the Batman. He doesn't even want to commit crimes. He has to commit crimes to get Batman's attention.
They could solve the Riddler by just having like regular quiz shows in then he would just become one of those people you see on every quiz show. He's on The Chase. He's on,
no, that wouldn't solve it. He needs to be on The Chase with Batman because the reason why he has beef with Batman is because Batman's claimed, or at least other people have claimed, that he's the world's greatest detective, and yet the Riddler's like, hang on.
What you're saying
I'm
here is
smart.
The Riddler was host Crystal Maze, and every guest is Batman.
Yeah.
He just wants to beat Batman. That's all he ever wants to do. But Batman's just like, I'm busy trying to, sort out crime.
Why does every villain just be like obsessed with him? I feel like I'm the Joker. I feel like the Joker's main purpose is just like, I want to hang out with Batman, but the only way I can do it is like in an awkward way without making it weird. I'm gonna
The Joker's like, I enjoy. Here's the difference between the Riddler and the Joker, right? the Joker's like, I enjoy committing crimes.
Yeah. And
But
he enjoys
also,
the
I
attention
do
from
like
Batman that comes along.
Yeah,
with
I
it.
do like Batman's attention. Whereas the Riddler's like, I'm not really that bothered about committing crimes. I just want Batman's attention, and the only way I can get his attention is by committing crimes. I'm imagining before he just sent him letters, and Batman's like, oh, I haven't got time for this.
All right, guys. On the
God,
Venn diagram of likes committing crime and likes attention from Batman, where do you sit?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good one. I think I like the idea of committing crimes, but like actually
It
committing
depends on the
crimes.
crime, really. Like who's
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, rich corporations, fine. If it's like individual citizens,
I
not
think
so good.
yeah, if it's
Yeah.
like
Like fun
pirate,
crime.
like pirating. I like pirating. Like don't put me in jail for pirating. I'm like, okay, I can see that happening, but like actual go out there and rob a bank crime, I'm too much of a coward to do that. So
That's
I'm
fair.
probably much more in the Batman. I want Batman's attention.
Hmm.
Not so much in that I enjoy committing crimes.
Yeah,
So
you-
maybe if Batman, like, who's committing piracy today?
Batman breaking down the door like, you wouldn't steal a DVD.
You downloaded an
Why have they
episode
never done one of those,
of
like,
The
you would-
Simpsons?
Yeah, he would steal a DVD, but why has Batman not done it? Maybe I'd pay more attention.
Yeah. Harley is also a good pick.
Yeah.
I do like Harley Quinn,
Love
just because I
Harley.
like doing the voice and then Will's hates it.
Yeah, Harley is kind of like
Good.
the Joker in that she can be really good when she is written in the right way, because at other points she just becomes
The
like
thing is,
she's not used well by writers and
Yes.
what
artists.
You
people
can do her
don't
very wrong.
understand, what writers don't understand about Harley Quinn. This is one of the problems in the first Suicide Squad film. One of the many. That film's awful. I hate it so much.
It's truly abhorrent.
Never
yeah.
I
watched
genuinely never. It's worse. Like, you know how we were complaining about the editing in Battleship, which you can
Oh
watch
yeah, that's
for a
up.
members video right now.
It's
the
not up
the
yet.
editing.
It's not, but it's
is-
ready to go up. Just as a
Oh,
heads
it's
up.
it's gonna
almost
go
up.
It's
up.
ready.
It's a little sneak
I'm
peek.
ready.
Just need to press go.
The editing in Suicide Squad is so much worse than the editing in Battleship. Like it's disgusting. But the problem with Harley Quinn in that film is obviously one, she's very sexualized, but more objectified. Like look at her butt. But
Yeah.
they just forget, like, Harley Quinn just likes to have fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
She
an
just
anarchist.
wants to
so-
have fun.
Now she is someone that does just live to get radical. She's not worried about the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, she's not fussed about Batman.
No.
It's more like she wants Mr. J's attention.
Yeah.
But then she grows out of that and she
Huh.
becomes her own woman. But and then she's gay with Poison Ivy, and we're all
Yes.
like, thumbs up about
Ideal.
this. So then
My
she's
ideal scenario.
she's living the be gay do crime.
Yes.
But she's not doing crimes to get Batman's attention. She doesn't care about Batman.
No.
Like, no.
She's just living for it. Yeah.
She's just living for it. Did you have an answer to my questions, by the way? We've gone well off track.
I like, if it counts, I think the animated series of Batman is very, very
It's
good.
great,
I
yeah.
think the
Kevin
Batman,
Conroy.
Kevin Conroy, that's it, yeah. And obviously Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
I think
Wales did a shockingly good Mark.
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah, I'm
good at it,
saying.
yeah.
I was freaking out.
Which I feel like Batman and the Joker, like Joker being the best Batman villain, is overplayed, but it is the most interesting because Joker, pushes Batman to his limits. That's the whole Joker thing. It's like he's trying to break with his tenet of do not kill, etc. And I think the most interesting stories are where he gets close to breaking that, which is what's so wrong about those Batman films where he's just got machine guns on his car and they don't really. He's just
How
blowing
did you
up
knock
random
them
cars.
out with a bullet, Batman? How?
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, they're stun bullets. I set my machine
Yeah.
gun to stun.
Yeah, it's like in the Batman video game, Batman. Oh my god, the last one, Arkham Knight, which I didn't play because I was done with that series by then. Because you can't get better than Batman Arkham Asylum, which
Good.
slaps. But in that game, he drives around in like a car.
Yeah, you platform in the Batmobile. It's bad.
Yeah, and you blow up like other vehicles, and then the explanation is, oh, they aren't driven by people; they're controlled by drones or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, everyone. Batman didn't just blow up someone.
It was a stun bomb.
You can like hold someone's head underneath the Batmobile tire and like threaten them with that, and I'm like, this is we're riding the line here. Favorite Batman villain? Maddie?
Me. Sorry, I love Scarecrow, and I've yet to see a Scarecrow in movie that I'm happy with, but I just like Scarecrow's vibes of being like, I'm into nightmares and I'm going to make weird dream scenes. And I just think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, the Scarecrow levels in those video games are very good. In the Arkham Asylum one, Arkham City.
The Arkham Asylum one is really, really good. You didn't like Cillian Murphy then?
It's fine.
Yeah, he's not really in that film all that much, to be honest.
I feel like Scarecrow could be just so much more, like he's scary.
He is scary. That's his MO.
Yeah, that's what he's about.
What about Batman / Bruce Wayne?
I have literally no clue. I don't know. I feel like I've clearly never formed opinion on this, which is why I was like,
fair enough. You did say you like the villain.
Yeah, as I say, Batman is the last person that I'm there for in the movies. Like, I'm just like, oh, hey, you're here too, buddy. I mean, I like Batman. I think he's fun. But
he's alright.
I don't know.
He's a side attraction in his own stories.
Yeah.
Really.
Elliot Brooks says, "Be gay, do vines." They're like 20 minutes late to the gag, but
yes,
excellent,
very good.
Excellent gag. A few people have been giving their opinions as well.
Not opinions on the internet.
I know.
We don't tolerate those here.
Hermit Prime says Kevin Conroy and Adam West.
Oh, Adam West is good. Yeah, Adam West is a very different vibe.
Fun.
Like, I feel like Adam West turns up to a party wearing like loud pattern, like very bright suit, and everyone else is dressed in like black and white tuxedos, that kind of thing. Like he's arriving to bring the party, and everyone else is attending a wake in terms of Batman actors.
Hermit Prime also says, if Batman just swallowed his pride and let the Riddler win once, the problem would just go away.
Yeah, it really would.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. The Riddler feels like someone who would have thrived on Twitter, or would just like the Riddler is a Twitter reply guy.
You need to watch the new Batman.
That's this whole thing.
Oh, really?
There are elements of that in there, and I was like, "This is great."
Right.
That film is obviously quite dark, but there are parts of it which I genuinely laughed out loud at. That are very, very funny.
Is it 40 minutes of the Riddler running an ARG, and that's why it's 3 hours long? All right, shall we move on from Batman? We've been strong on Batman. I'll whiz through other things that I played. I played a party game called Priorities, which a friend brought over because it is popular on TikTok, apparently. It's okay.
Oh yeah, and you keep up with TikTok all the time, don't you, man?
Watch a surprising amount of TikToks. Mostly anime. Shot. But Priorities it's a very simple party game. It was much better than I expected, I'll be honest. So it's a game of ranking things. So you draw 5 cards. They can be anything from, Batman to the patriarchy or feminism or 100 pounds, like that kind of thing. People, places, things, concepts. And then a person with a whiteboard ranks them from 1 to 5 in order of preference, and everybody else works together to try and guess how that person would have ranked them. So it's actually a co-op game. And then if you get them right, you either score points or you can there are multiple variants, but it's one of those games you can just play as long as you want to and then have a fun time and move on.
If there were like 2 options, one of them was crimes and the other one was Batman's attention.
How would you rank them?
The Joker would prioritize Batman's attention. No, sorry, crimes, Batman's attention.
Yeah.
And then Riddler would be Batman's attention, crimes.
Yeah. We know him so well.
We know. He's fictional.
kindred spirits. We played that. It was pretty fun. We played it for a while, actually. It's one of those games you can just kind of go around. It was surprisingly, when we cracked it out, I expected
grossness.
Yeah, like a lot of those party games end up being your Cards Against Humanity style, we're going to throw something in that's very offensive, but this actually wasn't that, and the jokes and fun of it aren't around anything offensive. It's just literally about trying to guess how people would rank them and thinking through their mindsets. So at one point we had England and taxes, And so the argument was that like tax is obviously not great a lot of the time, but also tax is good for paying for like certain social services and stuff like that.
This is true.
England can be good some of the time, produces, you know, like some great artists, some great people. Also really terrible in so many ways, historically and contemporaneously.
Yeah, right now.
So these are the kind of fun conversations we had. So I actually really enjoyed that. It's that kind of like put things around and debate it, kind of like Wavelength.
Those could be really good though. Yeah, like Wavelength
especially party game.
Yeah, Wavelength is an extremely simple game, and like it's successfully managed to entertain like various groups of people that I've been with for longer than you expect. And the same with like Snake Oil is another one of those kind of party games where it's just about like talking.
Yeah.
There's not really much to it, but it's still really entertaining.
It leaves the humor to the players, right? And that's the thing that Cards Against Humanity always kind of got wrong, is like it tried to put the funny on the cards, and the funny wasn't funny either, but also it took all the agency away from the players to actually make those jokes. Other than that, we played Fruit Punch, which continues to be fantastic. I wrote about it for the site. You wait till you've got 5 fruit of one kind, and the first person to grab the banana from the middle, which squeaks, which is very important, gets the cards, and whoever has the most cards at the end wins. It's very, very fun. It's very, very simple. I recommend it to everyone.
When we were playing, we weren't grabbing that banana.
You
would
almost skinned my hand with your nails.
Look, I've got sharp nails. I'm like Lady Deathstrike, okay? I can't help it. It's just the way I am.
It is very good. And like when you grab that banana and it's like a dog toy, and there it goes, which is even funnier. It's good.
Aaron Winmeister's in that Hallie. It's Hallie Galley, yeah. But with a banana instead of a bell, yes.
Yeah, the metal bell in Hallie Galley has been swapped for a softer banana.
Presumably you prefer a banana.
I like the banana a lot, yeah.
Okay.
The bell's quite fun because you have to slap down to make it ring. So it's a lot of people slapping down on top of each other's hands. But I like the banana because A, it's a banana and that's always funny. And B, it squeaks. And that's funnier than a ringing of a bell.
Venn diagram of things that are always funny.
Bananas are always funny.
Parts.
Bananas are
noises.
Like the perfect creation. They are funny. They are nutritious. They can be used for many different things.
Banana bread.
Yeah. You know, they keep well. Typically, they come in their own skin, so you don't have to actually put them in anything to protect them.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Shout out to bananas.
Matt, you work as a big banana.
I am working as a big banana.
You just got £10 from doing that.
Matt Jarvis, a big banana. That'll be your business card.
Please, let's move on from this.
Yeah, just wear a banana costume.
Was it Super Ted that had Spotty the banana? Oh, there is Super Banana as well. There's a living banana, right?
I don't know.
There's a living banana? Where?
Yeah, Spotty from Super Ted is a living banana, I believe.
How's that kind of existence then?
Children's cartoons.
Just being a banana.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a living teddy bear, so at that point, sentient banana is fine.
The sentient banana is a bit more out there than the teddy. We've seen other living teddy bears, Matt. I've never seen a living banana before, okay?
What about...
I've seen Banana Man.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's
banana,
not really a living banana. It's more
he's just
that
Popeye,
he's really into bananas.
Yeah, he's Popeye but fruit based.
Wow.
Yeah. He starts out as a small boy called Eric, but then when he eats banana, he turns into Banana Man, whose powers are very vague.
Aaron points out bananas in pajamas, which are, I believe, meant to be sentient bananas, but are very clearly people in.
Yeah.
There's an animated version
about bananas and pajamas.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me there. Yeah.
But there's no need for them to wear those pajamas, right? They're already dressed. Is a banana's skin its clothes, or is it its skin?
Matt, that is disturbing.
Here's an existential question for you.
No.
I mean, it's their skin. Like, I don't want to peel my skin off even just because you could. Like,
Maddie's got a point, because your skin is technically it's its own organ.
Yeah.
But there's stuff underneath it, but you don't want to pull it
bananas
off.
and pajamas are like partly peeled, though, aren't they? They're like the top is exposed banana, the bottom is dressed banana.
It's like, they're people.
look, like sometimes I wear a jumper and then I wear a coat over that. They're just accessorizing. Like it's like
They're accessorizing with
scarf.
clothes. Yeah.
This is something that now I'm just not going to be able to stop thinking about. Tonight when I'm
pondering
Sauvignon Blanc-induced haze, I'm just going to be thinking about bananas and pajamas and how all that works. Whoa!
Okay, let's move on from
Batman to bananas. Let's move on.
Batman to bananas. Name of the podcast. I haven't really played many other board games. We played some Project Zomboid, which might appear as a members video at some point. That was good fun. We played some Midnight Ghost Hunt, which definitely will appear as a members video or several members videos.
The editorial team versus the video team.
Yeah,
who
Chase
won?
Joined me and I against Liv, Maddie, and Wheels.
It was the championship of the century.
It was very good fun.
It was fun.
Also, Wheels is horrendously good at that game.
He's good at so many games, and it makes me so annoyed.
I feel bad that he's on mine and Liv's team. I feel like Liv's pretty good, but I just do such stupid things, and I'm like, oops, I'm out.
It's a really hard game. That game
it's not easy, especially when they
never know how to attack as a ghost. So every time it's like midnight, I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially when there's someone who clearly knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is still a little bit like, hang on, wait. Like, what's the best way
how do I turn into the lamp again?
Yeah.
Whereas like Wheels is doing like sick gamer strat.
Trick shots. Yeah, he's doing ghost trick shots.
Ghost trick. Oh my goodness.
Ghost Trick. What a game. I replayed Ghost Trick not that long ago. It's a fantastic game.
I was going to buy it and then I decided not to. And now wherever you go on the internet, there's always at least someone saying something about Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick is so good. Anyway, I haven't played anything else. I've started reading Dan to Dan. It's very good. I finished reading the whole of Takapi's Original Sin. It's very sad. I watched Evangelion and JoJo. Alex Meehan, let's pass it over to you.
Yeah, first thing I want to say is thank you to Justin Chu for becoming a member of Dicebreaker Plus.
Thank you, Justin.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. You're going to be able to watch that Midnight Ghost Hunt video.
Yeah, and it was the mention of our Battleship watch along as well.
Oh, God.
Clearly tided them over. But yeah, thank you and welcome. Thanks for the support.
Don't watch Battleship, just watch us react.
With zero context. Just going, where's Rihanna?
If you would like to ever see me genuinely angry, get us to do like a video commentary on either Suicide Squad, the original, or the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the film
with Sean Connery.
Oh, it made me so angry, Matt. I don't think I've ever been angrier watching a film. I was fuming.
Wow.
I was like, I've studied English literature and it's doing a poo on all of it.
It's a bit of a waste, isn't it?
It's a mockery of my degree. And also the Jekyll and Hyde character looks really, really bad. The CGI is horrendous.
It's a bad film.
So the reason why I'm not really talking about what I've been playing, because I've not really played anything. We played Frostgrave.
We did.
Earlier this week. And I got to confess to everyone my sins. I got a bit salty.
Alex, me, and I would never have expected this of you.
Don't say that to me. You know the only thing that really gets me salty is root. I don't know what came over me. I was playing Liv, and we had a really nasty scenario. Yeah, where there was like a wraith. Wraiths are not very nice.
Also, the time I've got very salty at Frostgrave is with playing with a wraith, and I just the first time I had it, I was like, I don't understand what I meant to do. I'm not enjoying this right now. I have to say, wraiths are very annoying.
So, what makes wraiths particularly bad is that you cannot damage them unless you have like weapons or if you use certain spells. They are immune to normal weapons. So most of the time you're not going to fling your wizard in there too much because they are very valuable, and if they die it's bad. You're going to have your little squirters trying to hit them. But they won't do anything, and also the wraith does double damage. It's just a really awful enemy to fight. But we were tackling that, and there was this fun thing where whenever you picked up a piece of treasure, if you rolled like under 10, I believe it's under 10, then another one would appear nearby.
Oh god.
So we ended up with having 2 on the board. We only got 2 actually. We were actually quite lucky with the rolls, but initially they were just bothering Liv a lot. When I say bothering, I mean killing her unit. And I was like, well, I'm good over here. I'm going to capitalize on this. And so I was trying to get as much treasure as possible, but managed to somewhat deal with the wraiths. And Liv managed to sort of get some treasure herself. But it was right at the end, and I was just about to leave with my treasure. And there was a moment in the middle where I had the potential opportunity of attacking some of Liv's units. I decided not to, because I was like, you know what? It's been difficult for you and for me. So I feel like we should just say, you know, Sarah, and kind of leave it there and go off into the sunset.
He had like a friendship arc at the end. He just
well, it was until Liv decided to come up to my unit and try and take the treasure that I was leaving with, and that's what really set off the kind of salt shaker. And I was just going, why do you have to be so mean? And then Wheels had the audacity to be like, there's one rule of Frostgrave and don't ever get salty. And I just looked at him like, how dare you? But no, when I came to my senses, I was like, actually, no, that is the game. I shouldn't get salty about it. The whole point of the game is that you want to try and get treasures. So, but yeah, no, it was fun. It was difficult. Your scenario looked a lot more sort of wild.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We didn't have any too bad monsters or anything. Ours was like 4 different teleport spaces, and as soon as you stepped on the teleport, it would teleport you randomly to another one, and they each had treasure on. So we were just like ending up at like random points of the board, and it was really fun. And there was some like really great moments. We teleported to like just the right location. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I looked over your board at one point. There was one teleport area. And it looked like a death trap.
One place, like we had about like 6, maybe like 8 like people there, like my wizard, my apprentice, like 4 of my guys, like 4 of Wheels' guys. I was like, what is going on?
That looked like quite the grenade spot.
Yes, I got grenaded a few times.
Come on, of course you did. You were playing against Wheels. Yeah. All he does is grenade.
I came away with 3 treasures to his 2, so I'm happy.
Very nice, very nice indeed. Kirby Rawstorm says, Frostgrave looks awesome. You lot prompted me to buy the books. Oh,
yes. You're not going to regret it.
People are listening to us. Taking us seriously.
And thanks to Official Bubbles for becoming a Dicebreaker member.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm very excited to play Frostgrave. I was in the office yesterday, so I brought back the correct box of bits to make some miniatures this time. Because the last box I brought back didn't have any torsos in.
No.
Just all arms and accessories and stuff like that.
Can you imagine Matt Jarvis coming in and all his just figurines are just
really like messed up, like Alone. Is it Alone or Limbo?
Like one of those like biblically
accurate
accurate angels where it's just like
it's like just instead of wings, it's arms. It's just all arms and a head on top.
I would like that, honestly.
Grotesque vision. So you've got some torsos now.
Yeah, I've got a box of wizards, I've got a box of soldiers, and I've got a box of extra bits. So I'm hoping to put a squad together because listening to you all describe Frostgrave, it's like I really want to play Frostgrave. It sounds so good.
You need to be around to play with us.
I know.
You're always
off
having a personal life. You need to stop.
I'm sorry. I will let my wife know. I'm sorry.
Game days.
I won't be home. I'm playing Frostgrave.
Tell your wife that you're doing very important things.
Tell my wife I love her, but I'm playing
I'm in Frostgrave.
Babe, I'm busy.
Sarah does not stop me doing anything, to be fair. Like, she's very supportive in all that I do. It's just that I live a very long way away.
Yeah, it's just that
you want to spend time with your wife.
I also love her very much.
That's why you married her.
I was going to say, I'm also planning to paint my miniatures this weekend. I did paint them last weekend, but because I'm a dingus, I forgot to spray them. And it meant that when I painted them on, obviously plastic doesn't really just paint. It doesn't take to paint very well. It just slides off. And also it's a very dark color. So I basically wasted about an hour and a half. Although, you know, the therapeutic aspects of painting, you could say that it wasn't really a waste of time.
Yeah, everything you paint is like improving your skill set, right? Like you know, it doesn't.
Very poor skill set.
Well, you know, painting is one of those things that you literally improve by just doing it. So yeah, when people are like, "Oh, I can't paint very well," and it includes me, I don't paint super well, but I like doing it because it's like, I can see that I'm better now than I was a year ago or 2 years ago.
Haley Anderson says, "Painting without priming." Yeah. F's in chat. I mean, I will say from the other members of my team, they do not make the same mistake. Please do not believe that we're incompetent with painting. It's just me. The others are exceptionally good. You can watch them regularly.
That's Duncecore, baby.
Dude, that's Duncecore, exactly. I'm embracing Duncecore.
Haley Anderson also says, have you guys heard of Gaslands? Yes, and we definitely want to play it. It's like, we have the book.
Maddie, do you have them? Are they there? Are they within reach?
Should I grab them?
Yeah, for the listening audience who are just listening, we will describe what Maddie's about to show.
So and for those who don't know, Gaslands is like a miniatures game with cars, and you can use kind of like Hot Wheels style miniature cars with a set of rules, and then it's kind of like Mad Max vehicular combat. But yeah, you can basically use small cars that you pick up anywhere, such as Maddie's.
My Hello Kitty Hot Wheels.
Are they actual Hot Wheels as well? They're proper licensed. Oh
Hot
wow,
Wheels.
Yeah.
Hello Kitty. There she is.
Is she in the car?
No, she is the car. It's got eyes.
She is the car.
No, she is the car.
It's
like
Sentient.
Morgana style.
If it gets damaged, this is gonna be awful.
It's got like a wacky racist kind of like design to it that I like. That looks like Homer Simpson's car as well. This is this Carapace? Is that how you pronounce it?
Carapace? Frog guy.
What is that car called that Homer made?
Yeah, the one that.
Oh, it's so good.
Has the bubble car, right?
The money for it, and he, like, I keep thinking of Canyonero, but it's not Canyonero. Canyonero is that car that Krusty advertises. Yeah, with the song. And I watched the episode the other day. Actually, it does that amazing bit where you think it's finished, but then it comes back.
Yeah. When I was in my youth, I would when LimeWire was a big thing. Most of the songs I downloaded from LimeWire were songs from Simpsons episodes, and I would listen to them. This was like pre-iPod days, so I would just have an MP3 player with like 128 meg of memory, and I would just listen to songs from Simpson episodes. So I had the monorail stuff on there, had the Canyonero stuff on there. They're all about 30 seconds to 45 seconds long.
Yeah,
they're just little bits from Simpsons episodes. See My Vest, all of that stuff. Listening to endless Simpsons songs.
Matt Jarvis, if you're not careful, your door's going to be kicked in, and the Batman's going to be there, and he's going to absolutely get you for committing piracy about 10 years ago.
Statute of limitations. I was downloading them before I must have been 10 or something. I don't know.
Before you knew better.
I was very young. Now, I do. I pay for music now, and I buy vinyl records, which is too expensive.
Yeah. Haley Anderson asks, "How long have you been playing miniatures?" Myself, probably about a year, and then on and off, because I'm not as dutiful as the others, and I'm quite an impatient person. So when something is very meticulous and requires very delicate, movements, like a lot of crafting things, I'm I'm bored. I'm just gonna slap this on.
But whatever. You gotta do it for yourself. That's the thing, right? It's it doesn't matter if you do it for half an hour or 3 hours. As long as you're enjoying it while you do it. Yeah,
what about you? How long have you been playing miniatures for?
Maddie?
I got my. I want to say Christmas 2020 or something, so not that long, around then, because I got one mini, and then I started painting it like a D&D mini, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. I spent 4 hours like doing her hair, and I was like,
Oh wow.
oh, I'm interested in this. So like the next day, I went out and like bought a load of Warhammer. And I was like, let's
Oh,
go.
no.
What did you collect? Like, or did you just go for like whatever kind
Oh,
of
I
grabbed your eye?
literally like I have like a Sylvaneth army, which like I have like that I could play with, but literally I just have boxes of just stuff that I think looks cool or that I want to use for other stuff. Like my Warhammer gets used for
It's
whatever
all valid.
games I want to use.
Yeah. And that is the super nice thing about games like Frostgrave, right? It's like it does just let you
Yeah.
use whatever you want to chuck together.
For sure.
What about you, Mr. Jarvis? How long have you been painting miniatures for?
When I was probably about the same time I was downloading Simpsons songs from LimeWire and listening to them on an MP3 player. When I was younger, like I don't know, 7, 8, I was big into Warhammer. So I collected Tomb Kings, as they were known at the time, and probably are still known, but they are slightly more problematic now. Because they're basically ancient Egyptian skeletons. Because I like skeletons.
Cool.
I always thought they were super cool. And
You
so
like skeletons?
I was a member of the Warhammer Club at school.
Sick.
I once won an award for best painting for a Tomb King person that I did. And then I got
your bio on the website.
You know what? It was in my CV when I applied for this job because I put it in there as a fun little thing.
That's so cute.
I bet that's what got you the job.
Probably, yeah. They looked at it as like, this guy's qualified.
This guy.
He gets it.
And then after that, I got big into the Lord of the Rings stuff. So when that started coming out around the films, so I subscribed to the magazine that was the Lord of the Rings magazine that would include things each month or whatever it was. So I collected a lot of. I loved the goblins of Moria, so I had a lot of goblins. And I also liked Uruk-hai. I painted Lurtz with the little white hand of Saruman on his face.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I kind of fell off of models for a while because I was just busy with other stuff as I was getting older, you know. So I then came into it probably not that long before I joined Dicebreaker, probably like a year or two before then. Got back into some of it and have kind of been on and off since, you know. It's not something I do every weekend, but sometimes Sarah and I will sit down for an evening or like an afternoon and we'll just paint things from like a board game or from miniatures games. Or...
Yeah, I know you've got your Lord of the Rings miniatures that you're doing now.
Yeah.
The
I'm slowly painting the Fellowship.
Balam's Tomb.
Yeah, it's basically the Fellowship and a load of goblins. So
Haley Anderson also says, I have a pair of Hot Wheels cars shaped like a donut and a cupcake for a novel to Gaslands team.
I
cool.
saw that, and that's
amazing.
Excellent. And I want to see pictures. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, send us pictures to Matt Jarvis. What's our email again? I always forget this.
Well, you can email them at podcast@dicebreaker.com. You can also find us at contact@dicebreaker.com.
Yeah, send us emails and questions.
I need Gaslands inspiration, and a donut and a cupcake sounds like my ideal inspiration. So
I need to start building my Gaslands team now. Maybe I'll build my Gaslands team and my Frostgrave team at the same time and just meld the two together. Maybe I just have Transformers, so they are either humanoid for Frostgrave and then they go
so cool.
and turn into cars for Gaslands. This is it. The perfect, the most efficient army.
Beautiful.
All right.
That's what I've literally just played Frostgrave this week. I played some Gloomhaven last night. Digital.
Nice. The digital.
Yeah, we're getting through it. That game is glitchy.
Is it still in early access or is it out of early access now?
No, it's not in early access anymore. It's just glitchy. At one point, the game was like, your character has reached the character. So in Gloomhaven, each character has like a goal that they want to achieve, and when they achieve that goal, they literally just leave the game. And my game last night was like, "Oh, your character has achieved her personal goal. She's retiring now." And I was like, "Wait, no, she hasn't." And it literally said like 1 out of 4 on the goal thing.
Oh, really?
Like, why are you doing this? I don't want to retire. I like this character.
You're being forced into retirement.
I'll be forced into retirement like a diva. But luckily, my friend was like, "Let's kick you out and get you back in, and that might fix it." And it did. But we're getting better at that game. We did a scenario last night, and we got it first time. So
nice.
We're upgrading from having to redo missions about 6 times before doing them to only having to do them once. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Maddie.
Hello. I you know how every single week I'm like pushing City of Mist back. Tonight, I'm finally running my City of Mist game.
Yay!
So exciting. And I've also been playing. Me and Oliver, my partner, do like a hack of City of Mist. We were playing Mutants and Masterminds, which is fun, but I actually wasn't really using anything that the system gives me, which is like kind of crunchy rules for your character. And I was like, I just want to like make up my own stuff. So we've just kind of like done a hack for City of Mist where we use those rules, but it's not necessarily like based on a mythos, which I understand that's the point of City of Mist, but it's just a really, really fun system. So we've been playing like a little version of that, which is very fun. I love it. Big vibes. And then obviously D&D every week, every Wednesday.
You said in Frog City?
Frog City! I forgot about Frog City. Now I'm reminded about Frog City.
No, because we haven't. That's the last thing we played because that was last Thursday, and then last night we didn't play anything because we swapped City of Mist for tonight, so everyone could play. So no, so normally every other Thursday, but no. But they'll be going after Frog City. They'll be going into the Hag's house, and it's like a.
Whoa!
That sounds less inviting than Frog City. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Feels less inviting.
I mean, Hags they've had a bad rap.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's nominative determinism, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if this is spoilers for Spirited Away. The Hag's house in that film, she's really nice.
Yeah, she is great.
Nice old
I love
lady.
her.
Yeah, they just hang out with her, Granny. Yeah,
she is like goals. Like she's like, when I retire, that's who I want to be.
I want to live on my own in a house in the middle of nowhere.
Legs.
Yeah,
have a little lantern on a foot.
Only get there by train.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah. Just living the best life.
Just hanging out.
I'll give a shout out, as you mentioned City of Mist. Folks should go and watch your video, Maddie, on the best superhero RPGs, in which City of Mist appears, as well as Mutants and Masterminds, in fact. It's a very good video. It's also up on the website as a list if you prefer to read.
Do both at the same time.
They're very good picks.
Experience.
Yeah, just absorb as much content as possible.
Yeah, it's fun. Honestly, like I think I've said this before, like playing D&D is so fun. I love it. But like now I've been a superhero with like super speed. I'm like, this is the best feeling. Like just being able to be like, I'm gonna like zip across there, like so speedy, and like describing all of like things go really slowly and like all the stuff you can do in that time. Oh, it feels amazing. I would recommend everyone becomes a superhero.
Instead of moving like 10 feet per turn, you can suddenly move like 1,000
across
feet.
town.
Yeah, you move 10 feet and then you try and stab someone and then you miss. And then you're like, well, that's it for the next half an hour.
This is something I thought where I was chatting to Oliver about, which was really interesting, because what I love about playing kind of a rules like game is that like if something fails, I don't just like try stuff over and over again as you would in D&D. Like if something doesn't do as well as I thought, my character is obviously like, oh, I should try something else. And it really pushes you to like keep changing the way you're tackling things, and it's like it's really, really fun and really interesting, and it keeps fights so like engaging because you don't try the same thing twice. Like every single time you try something slightly different, even if it's like uses like some of the same like roles. Like in the City of Mist, basically you have like tags, and if I'm still using super speed, but I'm using it in like 10 different ways because the first time didn't work, like it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, City of Mist seems cool. I've wanted to play it for a while, but I don't know when I'll get the chance to play it because I'm trying to organize an RPG with a group of friends, and I think we're veering towards like classic fantasy, which is all good. But yes, it means that I feel like superhero RPGs are a little bit out of the way, but maybe one day.
There's just so many. There's too many RPGs.
Yeah, so many good RPGs. Yeah, there really are. All right, let's move on over to news. This week's a little roundup of news. While we're chatting about news, if you're in the chat live, as you can be from every Friday at 2 p.m. BST, let us know if you've got any questions for us, and we might read some out towards the end of the show, or if you're listening on catch-up, which is not how podcasts work. If you're listening to this after the fact, you can email podcast@dicebreaker.com. But let's whiz through some news quickly, just to let the folks know what's going on out there. This first one I pulled just because I think it's quite a cool thing to see, and it's not something I've seen before in the industry. Asmodee which is the kind of like, I never know what to call them. They're basically a conglomerate, I guess.
Yeah, they're a behemoth.
Just a huge company that owns a lot of publishers in the tabletop space. So people like Fantasy Flight, which makes Arkham Horror and a lot of the Star Wars games, they're owned by Asmodee. Catan Studio, which makes Catan, owned by Asmodee.
Days of Wonder.
Days of Wonder, thank you. Yeah, basically, if you think of a large to mid-sized studio, there's a very good chance they're probably owned by Asmodee. After Hasbro, it's like the second biggest or third biggest board game maker in the world. So it is enormous. But here's a cool thing that it's doing. It's launching a new studio, one of many. But this one is focused specifically on accessibility and inclusion. So it's literally called Access Plus. And it's being founded to, they say, adapt board games for players with cognitive disabilities, so things that might affect things like speech or social relation, memory, things like that. They are adapting initially existing board games, so their first 3 games are adaptations of Spot It, which I think it's called in the US, and it's called Dobble here in the UK. It's the game with like circular discs, and you try and find the matching picture between them. Timeline, which is a game that I like a lot, which is very simple, where you have cards with like inventions or people or events, and you try and put them in the right place on a timeline. And like as you add more and more, you have to then try and guess which 2 cards each one goes between, depending on when it happened. And the other one is Cortex, which is like a puzzle game that I haven't played, but I believe it's like been fairly popular. So they're pretty broad, like family-friendly titles. But the idea behind this is that they will make physical changes to the components. So the cards will be thicker, they'll be larger, they'll be easier to hold in general. And then the games will also have rules that have been rewritten. They'll have like a variety of difficulty options. They'll have the ability to play solo as well. And then there'll be a little leaflet that explains why playing those games is like good for your brain or good for cognitive health and so on. So yeah, that's kind of what they've announced so far. I think they are due out. It's like Canada, France, and Belgium, I think later this year. So French language, I would presume, and then English language next year. Obviously, they're aimed at particularly like caregivers and like family who are looking after those with cognitive disabilities. But hopefully they will be widely available. We don't know for sure yet. But yeah, it's not something I've seen before. A studio of this scale, particularly focused on accessibility in this way. So I just wanted to highlight it because it's a cool thing to say.
That's great.
Cool. All right. Next one. This is more of a PSA for those of you who use D&D Beyond. 2 D&D books, 2 D&D 5e books, that is, are going to be pulled from D&D Beyond, which is the app or like the website that you can use for things like character sheets, reference. So Monsters of the Multiverse is coming out next or later this month, or next month, I believe. I can't remember exactly.
Soon.
But it means that Guide to Monsters and Tome of Foes, which came out like a handful of years ago, I think one was 2016, one was 2018, they are both getting pulled from D&D Beyond because I believe elements of those books will be contained in Monsters of the Multiverse.
Yes. Monsters of the Multiverse doesn't include anything new. It's all existing stuff that's just been revised to kind of work across all settings of D&D. So it does not surprise me that they're doing this, but it's not necessarily a good move.
Yeah, because these also aren't comprehensive, I believe. So Comic Book reported that basically there's a lot that's in there from this. Like you say, it's existing stuff, but there's a lot they leave out. So bits of lore, like some DM tips, and just
also
other content. So
if people want to access that content, they're now forced to buy this Monsters of the Multiverse book. Obviously, which will cost them more money unless they have. There's a premium, right? No, you have to buy everything separately. I can't
yeah, you do, and I think so. People who already own them will be able to still use them, but you won't be able to buy them separately going onwards. And
okay, so they won't force them to.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay.
They're not getting rid of this if you already own it, but it's worth mentioning. So May 17th, so only a few days from now, they will no longer be available to purchase. So if you want to go and grab them soon. So yeah, just a PSA, like I say, in case you want to get that stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting one. So D&D Beyond was recently bought by Hasbro, which owns Wizards of the Coast, which does D&D. So the hope is that by doing that, D&D Beyond was kind of its separate thing. It was it used.
They were very, very closely tied with Wizards, though. Like,
yeah,
it was always a very official thing. It's not like this is, some random third-party kind of independent site that's doing its own thing and releasing D&D content on there. The D&D Beyond, I was surprised to learn that they weren't already owned by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
But now that they basically are, kind of I don't think it's really going to change all that much.
Well, I'd hope on the optimistic side, I hope that it means that, because I think at the moment, if you buy a physical D&D book, you don't get that in D&D Beyond.
No,
which feels like a major kind of oversight.
So, I just would love a PDF alongside my D&D books. I do my notes on Google Docs, and then I have a physical book, and trying to transfer that stuff would be so helpful with a PDF. Just be nice.
Maddie makes sorry, I said Maddie. Paddy in the chat makes a good point by saying, I actually like the fact that they're removing them. It means new people will not buy the wrong one.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. That material is, like, say, at least a handful of years old. I think it's just a shame that there is content that some people just won't be able to access at all. If it's not everything that was in those books in their new book, there will be things that are missing, which seems like a shame. But yes.
But yeah, the hope is that when you buy physical copies of the D&D source books, I don't think they'll do it because it costs them money. But the ideal thing they should do now that they own D&D Beyond, they should do, if you buy the physical copy of the book, you should get access to all the stuff on D&D Beyond. Whether they'll actually do that or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure someone is crunching those numbers somewhere, and I'm sure you could buy that book, get the code, and then resell the book. But that's like anything, really. There are so many things that are similar. I'm sure.
I don't really think it's worth.
Yeah, looking at Hasbro's recent profit reports, they're doing just fine.
Well, that's not exactly ever stopped any company from not trying to.
This is true. So yes. Finally, in this quick news haul, I wanted to give a shout out for the RPGs for Reproductive Justice bundle, which is over on itch, and obviously is supporting folks over in the US around the recent leaked documents suggesting that the US Supreme Court will overturn Roe versus Wade, which obviously basically allows abortions and medical care. So yeah, it's just a grim state of affairs, really, over in the US.
It's pretty bad out there, I will say, at the moment. Reading some of the obviously precursor. Please give yourself a break from all of this. It's very stressful and mentally taxing. So do not fall into a hole of misery. I.e., get off Twitter for a good while.
That's generally good advice, regardless of context. There,
don't doom scroll, but it's looking. There are a lot of very shady right-wing stuff going on in the US and in the UK, regarding local governments and the Supreme Court trying to sneak laws through or overturn laws that are restricting people's rights, not just to abortion and healthcare, but also to talk about their sexuality, to affirm their gender. So having these bundles come out, even though obviously they're a small thing, but it's still like some way, if you ever feel like you're what am I supposed to do about this, they feel like some way that you're doing something about it
it's a way to support those doing the good fight. So in this case, sales of the bundle will go towards the National Network of Abortion Funds. So it's based in the US, and it provides basically support and resources to those who
need
requiring functions
healthcare.
for any reason. Yeah.
Reproductive healthcare.
So yeah, and you can nab a load of almost like 60 games for $25, and all of that money goes towards that.
There's some good ones on there as well.
You get some really good games, and it goes towards a really good cause. So
Starcrossed is on there, which I love.
Yes, Starcrossed is a great game.
Starcrossed. It's like Dread but cute.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are looking for some good games and you want to help good cause, there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, of course. All right. Let's move on to this week's segment in a bit of a tricky tangent out of that to go to something very light now.
Silly,
but today, very recently, they announced that there are official Catan and Ticket to Ride cookbooks on the way.
You can read about it on the website right now.
You can read about it on Dicebreaker.com. Yeah, so they're due out next year, is that right, Mia?
So the Catan cookbook is due out 2023 spring. The Ticket to Ride one is due out in summer.
Okay.
They have not revealed anything about what recipes will be in it. And
they don't know.
Well, the thing is, right, here's the fun thing. Ticket to Ride, the original, has at least some focused theme of it's train journeys across North America, and it's got a kind of 19th century vibe, I think, but that gives you something to work with, right? Catan is a game about colonialism and civilization building. I don't know what recipes are you going to get from that unless this cake looks like a brick.
There's they've done cookies that just look like pieces.
Luckily, we are here to do exactly that and to come up
Matt Jarvis is so impressive himself about this title for this segment, by the way.
Inspired by maybe Catan and maybe Ticket to Ride, but maybe just board games and tabletop games in general, in a section that I have written in this document as a la carte.
Yeah.
Which now I say it out loud sounds like Alucard. So it's a win-win, baby.
My boyfriend, my real life boyfriend.
Everything tastes like blood, and or ash.
No, I won't say that on the podcast.
All right. So we're gonna just come up with some dishes based on. I mean, for those who haven't seen Alex Lola's Dicebaker videos from a little while ago, go and check those out because they cross over with some of this already. She did a very good job of making Azul tiles, different components from board games.
I tasted some of those biscuits.
They were good, yeah.
The Azul biscuits, they were good.
But we're going the other way here, where we're kind of, I guess we're going in a similar direction. It's dishes inspired by board games, or tabletop games. So it can be an RPG, it can be anything you want. Who's got any ideas? I'm gonna kick off and say that. Let's maybe try and come up with our ideas for Catan and Ticket to Ride, because I think it's fine.
Okay, let's do that first.
Okay, Ticket to Ride, it's a train-shaped cake. It's one of those Colin the Caterpillar cakes. You stick a little chimney snoot on it, and then you...
A chimney what?
A chimney snoot, and then you stick a little carriage on the back of it. You put some chocolate fingers down as a rail, and then it's a train. And it's very budget friendly.
Made train cakes. Actually.
She did, didn't she? I ate some of those. Yeah, carriage cakes. They were really good. They were much better than my suggestion.
You're talking about a full-on novelty cake. In the same vein as our Lord and Savior Colin the Caterpillar. One of the few British institutions that I do support. Where it's where the different parts of the train are made up of sweeties and various confections.
I wish they made that because I would love to get that cake for Oliver's birthday. But I'm I don't know how I would make that, but I want that.
Do they like trains?
Yeah, Oliver loves trains. Loves a train.
I'm slowly building up a picture of this person. Likes trains. Likes Vampire the Masquerade, likes D&D, lost a shoelace. It's all coming together, all of it. I've got my own like board with string, being like, who is this person?
When I say he likes trains, what I mean is that he wishes that he ran a train, and that's his like. He wishes he drove a train like everywhere. Like he wishes that he could drive a train on the road.
Is Oliver secretly related to Mad Dog?
There is something like very appealing about the idea of just tooting along in a train.
Yeah.
Going boop boop. And just seeing the countryside. I'm sure train drivers do a very hard job. Thank you for your
it's
a
like
very
a
difficult job
service
at times and dealing with a lot of stuff.
Thank you for driving the train at like 11 o'clock at night while there's just absolute chaos going on in the underground because people flinging soft drinks across the room and vomiting.
Wow. I really soft drinks.
I really love the idea of going on like a kind of turn of the century, like I think you can still sort of do it in Russia and various other places where you go on like a really fancy schmancy train.
Yes.
And then you stay in like a car. Where you stay in a carriage and then you have like a 5-course meal.
Yes.
And everyone dresses really fancy.
Yeah.
And then
someone gets murdered and you have to solve a mystery.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And then I'll be wearing a dress that makes my butt look really big.
And then you'll have one of those long cigarette holders with a candy stick in the end.
Yeah. And an elaborate
hairdo.
Yeah. And I've got one of those little brooches that's like here.
Or like a pearl choker, which like
exactly. This is the dream. Food-wise.
What if you made like lots of like little rock cakes or something to look like coal? That's what I think. I would like to be able to eat coal.
Burn a rock cake.
I feel like the scale of that though then means you're having to almost construct it like 1-to-1. So at some point you're just building a life-size train out of cake.
But I mean just the coal. Like I want a bucket of coal, but it's edible.
Oh, a bucket of coal. Okay, I thought you were like starting with the coal and then doing the burner and then doing the engine. I was like, that's ambitious.
No, that's like a gingerbread. Gingerbread life-size train that I could get in. I'd love that.
Life-size. So you want to run the recipes in this book. Something that a normal person is meant to realistically be able to achieve. You want it to be a life-size train made entirely from gingerbread.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As people are saying in the chat, Alan One World, tickets Paris to Vienna cost £4,120 for Orange Express. So if I make a gingerbread one, it's probably cheaper. Okay, like I could probably
you can't run around in it unless you make it usable as well.
I just feel like a TV screen in one of the windows and just like have stuff going past.
I feel like that amount of gingerbread is gonna. I mean, it's not gonna be thousands maybe, but it's certainly gonna be not cheap.
But cheaper.
This makes me think of a show on Netflix that you can watch. It's really stupid. Oh my god, what's it called? It's a US talent ? Show where people who are bakers and then people who are engineers work together and the term is called baconeer. They actually use it. And they make edible things that are also they make a robot one episode.
Wow.
They are tasked with making a robot and the robot has to like go through an obstacle course.
And also be edible.
One. Yeah, and also be edible. And like they make a boat in another episode and it has to float on the water. And like some of the things that people come up with, because the judges don't really eat like the thing that they make. They eat like a dessert that's on top of the thing that they make. Because a lot of the time, the thing that they make, they use disgusting stuff.
I was going to say, I feel like...
it's not real. I want to be able to...
I mean, you could eat it and just be horrible.
Well, I want it to be nice.
It's like, this boat really tastes like pond scum.
Well, no, like one of the teams came up with like a sort of cement-based glue almost that was made out of melted gummies and chocolate that when it formed together it would like seal things like an adhesive.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember what the hell is it called. It will come back to me. You can watch it on Netflix. It's fairly obvious what it is. Banning wrong legs, so they waste food to make band machines, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
It's
kind
really
of, like,
stupid.
the bigger the better, like cooking show stuff, where it's like no one is eating that amount of food.
No. As for the thing is that this is what I'm imagining this book's going to be like, because they take rail journeys across North America, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just imagining that there'll just be different recipes based on different states. From
that's
the US.
a nice idea.
That's nice. I like that.
That is very much what they're
like
doing. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's what they're doing, because I can't imagine anything else that they would do.
I mean, that's not a bad way to go. Yeah. I mean, that's quite a nice concept of just like, here's something from each state or each major city. Like, here's a Philadelphia. They would
probably look at the routes from in the game and be like, okay, here are the destinations that you can go in the Ticket to Ride. Let's take something from and maybe lean into its kind of ye olde vibes.
Yeah, that's true. It's smart as well, because then you can do Ticket to Ride Europe, the cookbook, and Ticket to Ride India.
Exactly. I'm expecting a pumpkin pie.
Just in general, not necessarily related to...
I'm expecting a pumpkin pie at some point from some state, wherever pumpkin... I don't know about the US. I don't know where places are.
Canada, right?
Illinois, I know that's one of the states.
Is that just because of Suzanne Stevens?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, for Catan, I'm going to pitch this. You've got lamb for sheep.
Okay.
You've got potato croquettes for bricks, or like brick-shaped croquette things.
I do love a croquette.
So that's bricks. What are the others? Wheat. So you've got like puff wheat, or like the puffed wheat stuff. Oh yeah, you could have bread.
No, we haven't puffed wheat. Bread. We've had puffed wheat.
Puffed wheat. Shred,
having like lamb, croquette,
rice puffed wheat.
Yeah, it's actually, let's combine this all together. So it's a slice of lamb. It is then coated in Rice Krispies for the wheat.
Oh yeah.
It's then served...
Rice Krispies are right.
It's then cooked on... Oh yeah, right.
I don't know why I said Rice Krispies, to be honest.
I just went along and it's like, that sounds like wheat to me.
Wheat. I don't... Oh, is that shredded?
You can get puffed wheat, right? Yeah.
Shredded wheat.
Or
covered in
shredded
lamb,
wheat.
Covered in shredded wheat.
Yeah, and then cooked on a hot brick. Because for brick.
Can you cook it on a hot brick? You
can cook anything on a hot brick if you try hard enough.
Is that your quote?
Yeah, put that on my
tombstone.
Cook
anything on a hot brick?
Get that on an apron.
Put that on my tombstone after I die from an unfortunate hot brick related accident.
Man dies after attempting to cook I don't know, an entire lamb on a single hot brick.
What else is a resource in that game? There's what? Sheep, wood, brick.
What are you going to do with ore? How are you going to make that into something?
Sprinkled gravel over the top.
You can have like an iron bowl.
Bowl's good, yeah.
Or rock candy.
Or rock salt.
Rock salt.
There you go. And then that's everything, right? That's your Catan, a Catan steak or Catan lamb shank.
Clay. Clay is brick, right?
Cook it in a clay, there we go. Oven. Clay and brick in one.
Wood. Aaron Winmeister's wood.
Oh.
And to heat the clay oven.
You have to eat it with chopsticks.
Pepperami looks like a wood a little bit.
Do you say pepperami?
What?
Looks like a
pepperami
steak.
Looks like wood.
Looks like a steak. Pepperami.
Okay.
I don't even eat pepperami, so
I don't think anyone does.
Well, if you're a school child.
Something, you have to eat with chopsticks, or you have to eat with sustainable wood cutlery. There you go.
Or you make an entire chocolate log.
That's
what I'm into.
For dessert is a log. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
There we go. Okay, there's your Catan main and dessert, which I feel is slightly tilted towards the main, that has like 4 of the 5 things, and then just a log.
Sounds horrid.
Daddy Wrongleg says Twiglets ?
Oh, yeah, sticky. A Twiglets and pepperami meal.
What is chocolate bark? Tell me about this chocolate bark. It's like, what the hell is that?
You like melt chocolate and stuff, and then like you can like so it's like thin chocolate, and like it sets.
Yeah.
And you can have like thin like little bark pieces. It looks like bark. You know.
You could make coconut grass as well for the sheep fields. but that would not be good for people with nut allergies.
No, that's fair.
All right.
Oh no. Alan One says all could be blood pudding. Yeah. Gross.
Have either of you got suggestions for Catan, or should we pitch for a different board game?
I think that's about as good as we're going to get.
Yeah, I feel like that was a real team effort there.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. I don't know what people.
It doesn't need to be delicious. It just needs to be thematic.
What we've got to do is we've got to open up a restaurant. Right, we're opening up a restaurant, Dicebreaker restaurant. Home cooking. And then we invite Gordon Ramsay.
Yes.
We're like, Gordon Ramsay, we need your help.
Okay, but we do Dicebreaker cooking, and we get
we're doing
Ramsay
this all from we're doing this all from Matt Jarvis's house. That's the restaurant, your house.
Okay.
You're the only one who's a house.
Yeah.
So we got to.
Everyone has a kitchen.
Yeah,
we need places for people to eat. You got loads of rooms in there, don't you?
Okay.
We invite
all your
Ramsay.
rooms. You could just have one of
those
those
all of
restaurants,
them.
pretty sure.
I'm sure you get one room free for the restaurant. And then we invite Gordon Ramsay, and he comes over, and then we feed him that meal, and then we'll be acclaimed.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be only positive about it. Yeah,
he'll love it. I guess.
Gordon, try this Catan steak. Much like the game, it is quite disappointing.
No, don't say that. We're supposed to sell them on it. You can't say that.
It's the story. It's like a Heston Blumenthal thing.
Yeah, we'll be like, Gordon Ramsay, we know how much you love. We know how much you love Catan. Try this delicious steak.
Haley Anderson says that they should do a Sushi Go based cookbook, which is a very good shout. Yeah. I guess you just like draw happy faces on all the sushi, and then it's just sushi.
You can do that. They do that all the time.
Yeah.
When you see the pictures of the bento boxes in Japan, that like parents. That's what I want.
Yeah, they make faces out.
I want a parent to make me a cute little.
The amount of bento making TikToks I watch.
Let me eat this katsu curry shaped like Pikachu.
And they have like you can do that.
And it's like the rice is like under a blanket of curry.
It's amazing. Like it is a real art form. Like genuinely.
There's a Pokemon cafe in Japan. I never went, but they did that.
Andy Houghton also asked any recipes for Cosmic Frog. Which I feel answers itself because Cosmic Frog, you take a frog, you boil it in the blackness of space for a few minutes, and then you serve.
You take a frog, you squeeze it.
Oh, don't squeeze frogs.
No, this is a vegetarian saying this, by the way. You take a frog, it's dead. You squeeze it, and all the juices come out.
Oh,
I don't think that's how frogs
God. Like squeezing a lime.
No, they're wet, aren't they? They're all soggy. So you just squeeze them, all the juices come out.
They're not like that.
They're slimy, right?
They're slimy.
They're
like cold, but they're not like sopping wet or like they don't have like juices.
Having picked up a toad, I know that they're slimy. So there's got to be some juices going in there somewhere. Anyway,
Angel B also says blood bowl, a bowl of fancy tomato soup, which is very good. And then you dip an orc in it.
Quips, yeah.
This is one from earlier, but I loved it so much. David Leonard Flanagan, betrayal gingerbread house with like secret rooms, like a mystic elevator and secret passages. I've just been thinking about that the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. What other tabletop games can we riff on for food?
See, I was like, I don't know if you guys, but I follow on Twitter like the Red Wall like food bot that just does like food, like passages of food from Red Wall. So I was like, obviously something like Root, where they're just like little snacks and stuff.
I'm glad you're going that way rather than the cooked cat, a cooked bird.
No,
I was thinking what they're eating, like something
nuts.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little stuff.
Yeah, you could have like a root trail mix, I feel.
Yeah.
Clearing mix.
Yeah.
Whenever I play Wingspan, all I want to do is just eat the eggs.
We need some
eggs, sugar eggs, right?
Wingspan branded mini eggs.
Yeah. Well, no, because then we'll make them ourselves, right?
Just rebrand mini eggs. Just put like Tipex over the word mini eggs. Just like Wingspan in a biro.
No, you just get some chocolate and some sugar stuff, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put that on there.
Easy.
I mean, there are off-brand mini eggs, to be fair. So
yeah, they just call them chocolate egg, right? Small chocolate eggs,
Yeah.
something like that. In the little vein of
Yeah.
of dodging legal claims, they just do Leo the Lions. You know, like Aldi do Leo the Lions, and I'm like, okay. Yet again, Marks and Spencer are inspiring. Let's say inspiring. David Leonard Flanagan also says how to make little jellies like the energy from King of Tokyo.
Oh yeah, they are little squares, aren't they?
Yeah, they're little green. They look like they should taste like lime.
Yeah, I feel like you could do something like that for Pandemic as well, but whether you would want to eat the Pandemic disease cubes, I don't know.
Eat the Pandemic disease cubes. That's
they're just like little jelly squares. Azul, I will say, they already look like, you know,
tasty sweets.
Yeah, like coughs, and particularly Azul stained glass of Sintra. They look and they feel like cough sweets, or like those kind of like what do you call them, like boiled sweets.
The ones in the original Azul look like, okay, this is going to be fun. Do you remember, and they might still exist, there's a little purple packet of sweeties, and inside were these little, they were like hard on, they were a bit like, they were basically like Skittles, but they were like square and slightly rounded.
Aren't they Tutti Fruttis?
Oh, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
They look like they would taste exactly like that and be like chewy in the middle.
I love Tutti Fruttis.
Oh, I have such a sweet tooth. It's terrible.
And then you get them and they're just really hard on the outside.
Oh yeah,
like, was that the sweet breaking or was that my enamel?
But the chewiness in the inside.
Yeah, you have to work to get to it, but by the time you get in there, you're like, I earned this.
Yes.
I earned this center.
Angel Beats as I want an edible Jenga tower.
Ooh,
I think Loli's did make an edible Jenga tower, did she not?
I don't know.
I think Loli's did make one.
Shortbread, right? That's what you'd make it as. That would be dangerous for me to be around.
So Fireball Island, you could have atomic fireballs, and every time your character you could use them in the game, and every time your character gets knocked over, you can then eat. What, atomic fireballs?
What's that?
Oh my god! Atomic fireballs were the thing when I was a boy. I used to go to the shop, and they I think they're very strong aniseed, or some were aniseed, some were like chili. But they were like hard. They were like little gobstoppers almost.
But they're bright red.
They're bright red. Yeah, they come in a yellow
clear packet. Oh, okay. So the ones I'm
like a yellow cardboard box.
For some reason, I'm thinking of ones that came in like a clear packet, but they were similar in the idea was still
there are a few
really
like that,
spicy,
like toxic waste and basically the things that kids buy because they're like, oh lol, like these are so
look how hard I am.
He's gonna make you sick.
Oh my god, toxic waste. That was a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend had some, and they were like, this is going to be radical. They didn't actually say that. But
it was the 90s after all.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
This is going to be gnarly.
This is going to be gnarly. Yeah, I had one, and I spat it out because it was so there you go. Oh, do you remember those really big white gobstoppers?
Yeah.
The ones you'd have to like lick.
Right?
Yeah.
Jawbreakers, that's it. You had to like, you were enormous and white and they were covered in powder and you would have to lick them for ages. And they would very, very slowly become smaller.
Yeah. Or you could smash it with a hammer and just like eat the small pieces one at a time.
I never saw that. That's sacrilege. You can't do that.
Well, you know, sometimes you don't have.
You've
like,
got to work for your chewy bit in the middle, Matt. You got to lick. You got to work your way through. Lick it down. Wow, that's another one. Okay, Matt's face.
I feel like we've steered off the road of board game related dishes. Let's do a couple more before we round off this podcast.
Andy Horton says point salad.
Point salad is good. Yeah.
Salad.
I mean, isn't point salad just kind of like the salad buffet at Pizza Hut or something like that? Because it's just every vegetable kind of mixed together.
Because the salad buffet at Pizza Hut has croutons and Thousand Island dressing,
onion bits,
and very sad looking lettuce.
Yeah, floppy lettuce.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's been cooked by the fluorescent glow
Yeah,
for
it's been-
like
Yeah.
17 hours.
And like obviously pasta and coleslaw.
Yeah.
Look.
Mm.
Oh no, wait, hang on. I was thinking of the Harvester salad bar.
Oh, Harvester salad bar. No, that's a step up from Pizza Hut.
That is a step
Pizza Hut
up.
was good for pizza, not so good for salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandably. They're not called, Salad Hut.
For those who may not know what Harvester is, it's a brand of restaurant.
Yeah.
That's like a pub type restaurant where the main menu items were like ribs and chips, burger and chips, steak and chips.
Yeah.
But the highlight was always the free salad bar.
Mm.
It
Which you
was
could just
well
stack as high as
stocked.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah, you just stack that up. There you go.
Some highlights from the chat. Pink Daisy says crunchy hive insects. Given that the insects in hive are like spiders, which don't, I'm sure a spider is not tasty unless you use the legs like a little lollipop stick.
They're saying that insects are the future.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
the
insects.
eaters.
I've eaten insects; they're fine.
Wait,
No.
what?
I don't
I
want to
mean
eat them.
insects.
Nothing that's crunch.
I've eaten,
Nothing
like,
that's crunch.
grasshoppers, ants. Like
No,
Wet,
no, Matt.
dry,
We need to
fine, no
we need to
crunch.
unpack this.
I got a grasshopper leg stuck in my tooth.
Oh.
No, we need to unpack. Maddie, you said no crunch.
Oh.
Do you just mean that the texture?
Yeah, no. In my species list of wet, dry, or crunch, all insects are crunch, and I don't eat anything that's crunch.
So you don't know because do you just not eat anything with the crunch texture?
No, I like a crunchy texture, just nothing that is an animal that I have categorized as crunch.
Oh, okay. What
which is
about
insects?
ant custard, which I've seen before?
That's
Ugh,
crunch.
that
Yeah,
is
but you don't
crunch.
taste the ants.
No, but like the
They're
animal,
just there.
but the animal
just
is originally crunch. It's a biological category.
You're not even supposed to eat them; they just exist.
Well,
Well, they
how's
had-
it in it?
They had protein or whatever.
It
Kevin
has
Rosson says
egg, it's fine.
bananagram split. Which I feel is pretty good, yeah.
Yummy.
You could have like
For some reason, I
little.
was imagining it like in the little zip-up banana. You have ice cream, and I was like,
Yeah.
"That's horror. That would ruin."
We could
the
have little
banana
like
pouch."
sugar tiles for the letter tiles as well. So
Oh wait, Maddie was imagining ice cream in the felt bag.
Yeah, that was like
Oh.
my first thought, which I was like,
like
no.
and then you cut the end like an ice, like a piping bag, and just squeeze the ice
texture
cream
of
in.
the felt. That makes me, when your teeth like feel
Yeah.
really sensitive
Fuzzy.
when you think about something.
I'm
Like
sorry.
when you squeak them against an apple, like thinking about ice cream in the felt bag.
Ice cream in the
Oh.
felt bag sounds like a 70s like prog rock album.
So like
We're ice
it.
cream in the felt bag. Cracks of Quedlinburg. What about
Oh,
Cracks of Quedlinburg? Says Alan
yeah.
Winmay. Okay.
Delicious
it's got-
potion drink.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah.
a stew of some kind, or like a big
Yeah.
bowl of something.
Yeah,
Um,
you chuck some
rat tails.
Cold
rat tails.
So gummy
chuck
worms
some
for rat tails, do you reckon?
green spiders.
This feels like a kid's Halloween like meal. Like my mum used to make like big Halloween feasts, and it would be like bats droppings, but it would be like chocolate raisins and stuff. Like
Your mum is the best.
oh yeah, our Halloween's incredible. She's amazing. But yeah, that would have been something she would have made. Just like a pot of.
That's good.
Oh,
yeah.
eat bat
Spooky
droppings.
sweets.
Uh,
I'll make you a
Spooky
little Halloween.
sweet.
I'll make you a Halloween feast. We'll do it.
Oh my god, Maddie. you need to-
Spooktober has really taken shape.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Happy teriyaki salmon, says HM.
Ah.
I feel the happy salmon is primed for
Doing
because it's
what?
just
Put
a
it in the
salmon.
felt bag.
Yeah. Or eating smoked salmon out of that felt bag, just like unzipping and just taking out a little
Can
bit
you
of smoked
imagine the
salmon.
smell of that bag?
Bringing my lunchbox.
Yeah.
This is the felt bag. Get some raw salmon in.
I only
Yeah.
eat my food out of like felt bags shaped like food.
Yeah, I've got to open it up, and the thing
Yeah.
inside has got to look like that.
Yeah, or the opposite, right? Is you surprise people and it's like you're unzipping the banana bag and then salmon.
Salmon's in it.
Salmon out of the
Whoa.
banana bag. Yeah.
That's
That's
even more
surrealist.
disturbing.
Yeah.
You're just mind freaking people, Matt Jarvis.
What is happening?
Pink Daisy says, "Are crabs or crustaceans crunch?"
Oh, that's so true, and I would eat that. You got me there. Yeah, I'll eat that.
Okay, well, we established this. Okay, and then they say, more importantly, a rat tail's crunch. We wouldn't know.
Well, no,
No,
because a
you
rat's
surely
not
got
crunch.
yeah.
Great. So my biological category of animals are animals that either wet, dry, or crunch, and Like, it's basically.
Where's a rat fall under?
Yeah,
this?
do you
I feel like
remember-
a rat can
A rat
either
is
be wet
dry.
or dry.
A rat
yeah,
is
but they can
dry.
be wet. You can get a wet rat for sure.
Yeah, but like if a wet rat has to have been made wet. They're
Yeah, its
naturally
basic
wet.
state
They're
is
If you
dry.
took a fish out of the water, it would be dry, right?
No,
it's wet.
it holds moisture. It's just like a
Moisture's
frog.
It does-
Frog is
it
wet.
doesn't
Frog
produce
is
moisture.
wet. There you go.
Frog is wet. Thank
I'll
you.
do a TED talk on my biological category of animals soon. But
On how to eat everything.
it's
So
not
I
about
was-
eating. It's about the other animals eating each other. Like a catfish should not be able to eat a bird, but they did it, and that's why it was so wrong. And then
Maddie, you are going to blow scientists' minds. They're not going to have any
Lot of
idea this is
Science is never
coming.
going to see this coming.
They're going to be like, holy smokes, we never even considered
Yeah.
this.
I got my own science. I got my own thing.
Okay, let's quickly finish on that line. Maddie, quickly.
Uh-huh.
Are these board games wet, dry, or crunch?
Oh,
Catan.
but they're just all dry because they're not wet.
You're
sorry.
yeah, Matt Jarvis was like, this is going to be a great segment.
I'm sorry, it would be
And
great.
I was thinking more abstractly, but I guess if you're just going by, yes, a
Annie-
cardboard box
No,
and
it's
stuff.
very-
My system.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Don't try and mess about with it. This is science.
It's science.
goddammit,
You can't
Matt.
you can't just make up rules. You can't just make things up unless it's science.
So happy salmon is a dry, happy salmon dry, but salmon wet.
Yeah.
Fel's got a good point, actually. Fel says, if you cook a wet animal, does it become crunch?
It's not about eating it, I think is what is
Okay.
important. It's not
It just
about
at
when you
its
eat
base,
it.
when it's alive and it's
It's just that
tasting.
observing it and going, that's a crunch.
Yeah.
That's a crunch.
Because insects are neither wet or dry, they're crunched. Like they're in a whole other situation.
In the crunch
Oh,
category.
so I did not mean to derail this much. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. Whenever you talk about this, I'm immediately invested, and I'm like, I don't care about board games anymore. I just want to talk about wet, dry, or crunch.
Well, with that, we will leave this week's Dicebreaker podcast. Thank you, of course, to our Wet Dry Crunch deliberator,
dry.
Maddie.
Yeah, thank you. I'm dry. You're all dry. We're all dry animals.
That's
Yeah,
good to know.
That's the category, dry animals.
Thank you, Alex, me, and the other dry animal.
Yeah, I'm actually really cool with being dry at the moment. You know, like I'm down with that.
Yeah, to be
Nice.
fair, I would like to be crunch, but I think I'm dry. So
You are
You
dry.
would like to be crunch.
I aspire to crunch, but
You don't have an exoskeleton, so
Yeah.
if you
I
get
have
one,
bones.
Yeah,
I
Matt.
have bones.
I'll recategorize you. But yeah, but they're not like on the outside.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Matt,
gonna just start wearing
bones.
like plate armor until you're
And not
forced
an
to accept.
exoskeleton. We've proven that.
It's
I'll
don't-
show
science.
you.
One man's mission to become
Yeah,
crunch.
I'm gonna be like those lobsters that continually grow in their shells, and then people will be like, "We'll just like keep putting him in a new shell, and then he'll grow and become our like Leviathan god."
Oh.
That's my
Leon
That's art
aspiration.
for
is-
you.
No, don't you even dare try and game. Don't you try and grab the lobster crown. There's already one king lobster, and his name is Leon. Okay,
I will
don't you
fight
dare.
that lobster.
Leon will mess you up. Leon is
Yeah,
king.
I don't have claws. I have
Yeah. Sorry.
puny
There's only
time
one
and
lobster king is
human
Leon.
hands.
Right.
All right, with that, it's this week's Dicebreaker Podcast. Thank you very much if you've been joining us live, which you can do every Friday from 2 p.m. BST. If you're
Mhm.
listening on Catch Up, thank you for being here as well. We appreciate it all.
Yeah.
You can catch things, of course, over on youtube.com/Dicebreaker, or you can find us at our home at dicebreaker.com. But for now, that's been the podcast. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Look after yourselves out there. And until we meet again, have a lovely day. Goodbye.
Bye.